Hello people, hello guys and girls, and anyone that sort of stumbles across my little YouTube channel. It's been a while. The last YouTube was back in, I think, March, when I was unwrapping everything. So today is June the 2nd. Now, if you're from the UK, you know that the weather we've had in the last, 6-7 weeks has been really good. It's been in the 20s or high 20s, very little rain. I think it's been the driest spring on record, I believe. So what we're going to do is going to have a look around, and what I'm going to start with is the front, because I normally leave that to the last. So I'm just going to go around the front. So we have a quick look at the front here, and first thing to point out is that on my last video, if you saw, I had a Chamaerops. The one here on the left, if you remember, was, I wasn't too sure if it's going to die off. It actually did die off. It went brown, dried. So I've got another one, and they're pretty easy to get hold of, very common, not that expensive either. And I wanted to get ones that are similar size to the other three. I didn't want to get one too big or too small, so it's a similar size. So I've got the 4 Chamaerops. I'm not too sure why that one particularly, in this particular location, sort of died and the rest survived. There are a couple of spots on this one where obviously winter, but as you can see, there's new growth coming in the middle, the spears, and this one's got a couple of spears coming through. I think that's been there for about 6 weeks. And obviously I've got my Canna lilies. These are all from 2 years ago. They're not budded, they're not flowered yet. I just kept them in their pots, put mulch on top, and kept them under my canopy. So they survived. And I said they've not got flower just yet. So that's obviously a giant white, which is new. And I'll put that in a bigger pot. And my Trachycarpus Fortunei over here. I think this has been 3 years, my 3rd year I think, and it's got a big spear. I don't know if you can see it. It's got a big spear coming through the top. I don't know if you can see that. It gets sunny at the front here right now, 16 degrees. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning, and normally what I do, I wait till they get browned off, the leaves, and then I cut them off. But right now it's doing alright. So that's the front. I normally need the front to the end. So the Calla lilies, I think they're 2 years old. I sort of keep them in their pots and put mulch on top, and it seemed to have worked. And I'll do the same with the giant white, follow the same process. And the other Chamaerops, apart from some spots of winter damage, are all doing okay. Again, you've got some growth in the middle, and growth in the middle. This one suffered a little bit more than others, but there's growth there. There's a fern. Not sure what fern that is now, to be perfectly honest with you. And what I'm trying to do is cut the shoots, the growth from the sides, and try to make it tall as opposed to wide and bushy. And this particular one I've given a trim a few times, and as you can probably see, the side shoots, I don't want them really too wide. So that's the front, and everything seems to be okay. As far as the tiki bar is concerned, it has been opened. And it's just like it's semi-open, semi-closed, because I'm obviously not using it. They're the signs that I normally hang up on the poles and stuff, but because it's been pretty windy, I've taken them off. So they're just there right now. If you're interested, those tiki bar signs came from a shop called The Range. What I don't like about solar lights, solar units, is, I've just come over here, is when they put everything on top, because the water does go in there and it does bugger it up. So I don't like the ones on the top, but anyway, I thought this was pretty novel. I think it was £20, 20 English pounds. So this has been opened, and I said it's semi-closed right now. Things are still wrapped up. I'm expecting rain tomorrow for a few days here where I'm in Northampton. So yeah, so it's sort of half open, half closed, and yeah. So where shall we start? Things in the bucket. So shall we start off with this canary date palm here? This didn't cost me anything at all. This was a freebie. All I had to pay for is get a pot, which is plastic. I already had some Johnny's number 3. I had some soil improver. I had already had some stuff anyway, so it didn't cost me. It just cost me it cost me the pot, which was I think £20, and I'd buy somebody a beer to bring it home. It's on I've staked it really to support it. It's long and wiry. Obviously it's been stretched. The story was, I passed a garden centre and I was wandering around as one does, and I saw this in a corner, and it was bent at a 45-degree angle. The pot was like really, I don't know about pot sizes top of my head, but it's a really small pot, and because it's all long and wiry, the branches, it was leaning to one side, and I thought, well, the garden centre should know better than, I thought the garden centre would know better than that. It's an independent one, it's not a multi-chain one. And I sort of wandering around, and I thought, let me speak to someone about this poor little canary date palm. I don't know where it's been stored, I don't know how long they've had it for. I just spoke to a member of staff. I said, what's going on with that canary date palm? First of all, they said to me, what's a canary date palm? I said, well, you know the palm you got in the corner that's all bent over? Oh, I said, oh yeah. I said, what's the story of that? He said, I don't know, but we're chucking it out. I said, what do you mean you're chucking it out? Anyway, cut a long story short, I said, listen, don't chuck it out, I'll have it, and what I'll do is I'll buy a pot. I'll buy this pot. I said, so I'll pay you £20 for that pot, and I'll get someone to collect it. So she made a phone call to, I presume, the owner, and yeah, so I brought it home, repotted it in a big pot, and I had to stake it because it's loose, it's a bit wobbly. We've had a bit of wind, so I've tied it up so it doesn't wobble too much. What I'm going to do for the winter, God knows, I have no idea at this present moment of time, but it didn't cost anything, and I've got it on a trolley, so I could actually wheel it in the garage actually if I wanted to. The good news is really is that if I come to here, all this is new growth. There's all new growth here. All this is new. That's all new. That's all new. This is the original, and in the pot it's like 7 foot tall in the pot, but I staked it up with these poles here just to give it some, make it a bit stable. And the actual trunk is not big, so this has really been, the term is stretched. I don't know anything about it. All I know now is that there is new growth coming, and I don't know what to do with it in the winter, but it'll do. It's all right. I said I got a trolley for it, so I can move it around. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably wheel it into my garage and wrap it and see what happens really. So that's the story of that of this canary date palm. It's actually quite tall if I stood it, if I straightened everything, and if I unwrap it, it flops everywhere and the wind's been catching it. So I'm trying to make it a bit stable. I say it was a sorry sight when I saw it. I couldn't believe a garden centre would allow it to get to that state really. But I say it was literally at a 45-degree angle. The pot was way too small for the weight of the branches. But that's the story of that. So before I continue, I'll talk about stuff that I've already had that you've already seen. So this is my black bamboo, the Nagra, and I don't think I saw it last time, and I didn't know what the growth was or anything about it, but all this is new growth. All that is new growth. Got some weeds there, but all that's sort of popping up, all that's new. And the other one I've got is over here, and that's also got new growth. Sorry, coming along here. So it's obviously doing well in this corner. And another Calla from last year. I repotted that. I should split these really, because I had this rattan type of pot available. So yeah, they survived. I remember buying one, the first one, a couple of years ago, and the girl on the till said, "Oh, I have these for indoor plants." So I thought, okay. So anyway, they survived. And in here I have another Calla. This is going to be another giant white. I put this in the shade because apparently they like shade, sunny spots, not full sun. The one on the front is in full sun for a few hours. This one isn't. So just see how that one does. They like very moist, I believe, so it's very moist there. This is my corner I cut out. That's a Cordline. I replanted from a pot, and there was obviously a couple of lily bulbs in the dirt, which is a surprise to me, but a couple of lilies. I don't know what ones they are. I had a mixture, but they were obviously in the dirt that was in the pot. So I've replanted this, cut out the corner, and they seem to have survived. In fact, I've done the same thing with the other corner over here. These Cordlines are in pots, if you ever see my videos, on the patio here, and I repotted it. This one here there was no lilies in the pot, so that's just by itself. And I just buy, as I normally do every year, some fuchsias just to give it a bit of colour over here, and in the pots hanging on the wall. This was my rhododendron that I normally kept on what I saw the north-facing garden, face my garden, but I moved it here because I think it looks tidier on the north side of the fence now, and I'll leave it here. It's flowered. They only flower for like 2 weeks or something, 3 weeks, and they're gone. But it's got some. That's new growth there. It's been in this pot here for years. I can't just put it in the ground because it needs a different type of soil. I suppose I could make a bed for it, but it's happy. It's been happy there, so I'll leave it in that corner. So that's my existing rhododendron. This is the Cordline that was in the pot. So I've cut out a corner, and the other Cordlines in the other corner, and I'll run through what some of these are in the pots here. So new to me this year is the Musa Cheesmanii, or known as the Cheesman banana, and it's much smaller than the Basjoos. The leaves are considerably smaller, and the pseudosem is narrower. So the pseudosem actually is darker. It's a darker colour, and on the back of these leaves, I don't think it's so bright out here right now, you probably can't see, but it's much lighter. There, I don't think you can see that. It's a much lighter colour, like almost a white, I think. And on the back you have this purple or deep red or purple stem on the leaves. So it's a much more compact banana than the Basjoo, Musa Basjoos. I think it's less common as well. But I saw someone just selling one for like 10 English pounds. I thought I'd give it a try. I said I put it in a pot. The pot's on wheels, so I can move it around. It's a big pot. These are big pots, and I said it's not going to be as big. The leaves aren't going to be as large or as big, and the pseudosem is not going to be as wide. So take it from here. You can see the pseudosem is much darker than Musa Basjoos, and if I stand back, you see the leaves aren't as big. But as you can see from that one there, it's got a deep purple, deep red stem on the leaves. You can't see it right now, as I said, but if I just do that, you can see there's the green and sort of a whitish back to the leaves. The Cheesman's banana. And a new one for me this year is the Musella Lasiocarpa. I think that's how I pronounce it. Musella Lasiocarpa, which is a sort of the same family as the Musa Basjoos. I think it's known as various names, golden lotus or the Chinese dwarf banana. Now, I wasn't planning to get any of these, but again I saw someone selling one for £10, and I thought, well, I'll give it a go. It was in a little small 9cm pot when I got it, and I've obviously nurtured it. It's now in a big massive pot with wheels on. It's not going to get as big as the Musa Basjoos. And one day in years to come, hopefully I've got these are all new growth, these leaves, and I can see one coming through. And hopefully one year, fingers crossed, a nice yellow flower will appear. Hence, I think the word golden lotus. It takes a while to get flowered, I believe. So, hey ho, and I don't know how, but I ended up with two. Of these, and I don't know why. And there's a new leaf coming here. So it's got. When I got this, it had no leaves, but obviously over time it's now got two, and one pushing through. I don't know how I got two. I just ordered one for £10 and ended up with two. So another big bucket on wheels, so I can move these around and put them under the canopy and stuff for wintering. And obviously we just put old fruit in there right now, but yeah, so I don't know, I thought I'd give it a try, I'd give it a go. Over the years I've had, if you looked on my videos, Cordlines on pots on my patio and other bits and pieces. I've now just got these on one side, the sun hits these. They are on wheels, so I can move it around to get the mower out, etc. yes, I would give it a try. And I said, over a period of time, don't know how long, but I know eventually they should, fingers crossed, flower. So I'll move along to this pot. Now this had, if you remember, and there's a remnants there, Sikkimensis, Bengal tiger. It never survived. I treated it the same as the other Musa Basjoos. It never seemed to survive. I don't know what happened to it. But also in the same bucket, as you can see, is pink chinas. Pink chinas are okay, they're coming through. And this is a Sikkimensis Bengal tiger, another one. I've got another one. In fact, I've got two. I thought I'd try it again. Maybe it needs more wrapping. But I treated it the same way as my Musa Basjoos, but it didn't seem to survive. It never collapsed. I kept on cutting it back to find green and nothing. So I just chopped it back. There's no pups or anything coming through on that one. But I've got one here, Sikkimensis Bengal tiger there. Again, I've got a 9cm pot. It's now got 4 leaves, one coming through, and I'll see how that goes. But the pink chinas are fine. The reason, as I mentioned before, last year, I put them in the same pot is because I can feed them and water them. They're the same regime. They all like water, they all like the same feed. So there, that lost, I don't know why that lost it, because I treated it the same as the others, and I put it under the canopy. But I'll watch out for this one for this winter. I might have to double wrap it. But they are on wheels, so I can move it into the garage if possible. In fact, everything's going to go in the garage, I think, at this rate. So that's, see, the sun's on them now, which they like, and it's only 11:30 right now. Apologies for the domestics, you'll wash him. Yeah, so there's a longer shot for that canary date palm there. You can see it's tied up, sort of flapping around, because it's been windy the last couple of days. So I tied it up. So I've got something else new. So another new one for me this year is the Butia Odorata, if I pronounce that right. Jelly palm, I think it's also known as. Another, it's a feather palm, much hardier, I believe, I hope so, than the canary date palm rather. It's in a big bucket. It's got wheels on, so again I can move it around if I need to protect it. Let's move in here. This is all in here right in the middle. It's all green, so it's all nice and green and new growth. Obviously, it got damaged by putting it in the car. I tried to put it in my car, and obviously some of the some of it got caught in the car door. But I believe these new growth in the middle will take probably next year for it to start arching like the rest. And it's got quite a big chunky trunk. Put my hand there, you can see that. Yes, so that was new, and I think excuse me, I think that's been in the pot now for, I think, 8 weeks, about 2 months. So that's the Butia Odorata, which I believe is a much hardier palm, and the canary date palm over there. And it's got the green shoots in the middle, all doing okay, but I'm led to believe that it won't sort of arch maybe until next summer, next year. Now, that wasn't my first one. This was my first one. That was my first one that I got first of all. And I put it in a raised bed in the middle, well, not so much in the middle of the lawn, but I'm sort of running out of space. So I put it down the far end of the lawn, done a raised bed, and again, if I can see the middle's all grown out nice and green. It's a bit of damage on the ends, but I don't know how long it was hanging around the shops for, but it's all nice and green in the middle, and again I believe that it'll take maybe next year before it arches. So I got one, this is more than 8 weeks, and I got it from a retailer in the UK called B&M, and knowing that it's hardier than the canary date palm, and they weren't asking a lot of money for it. When I looked online, they're quite expensive really, but I thought again I'll try it. It's all green in the middle, some of the ends are a bit dried off and stuff, but I think that's the damage to it before I got it really. But this trunk is much bigger than the other one I just showed you. So over here I have my original, or one of my original canary date palms. It was in a pot under the canopy. This is 2 years old, this, and when I unwrapped it I said to see how it goes, because the ends suffered some damage, but all this is all new growth. It's all new growth. And I put this in the raised bed, and I've had it for 2 years in a pot on the patio, and I wrapped it. In fact, it's the only one that survived out of possibly 4 that I had. The ends have got a bit dried off, that's why I said in my last comment, not too sure what's going to happen, let's see. But since then, because the weather's been really good, it's been really hot, it's had a lot of growth. It seems to be settled in okay, so that's in a raised bed as well. So that's quite manageable to wrap. If I have to wrap it, well, I will wrap it. I don't have to, I will wrap it. It's much manageable because of the size. I've got to be careful of the roots, so I've got to figure out what I'm going to do, but I'll worry about that come October, November. It's only June right now. So that was in a pot. I've had it for 2 years. It was on the patio. I have wrapped it up for 2 years, but it's the only one that really survived without going brown and spear pulled, etc. And you can't really see a trunk because I've got big rocks around it, but it's not. But I said it's happy because it's got a lot of growth coming through. It obviously likes being on the ground. And so it's in a raised, slightly raised bed. So that's one of the canary date palms that I had out of 4, survived 2 years. So this is the north facing side of the garden, where, as you can see, there's a distinctive line here, where the shaded area. So I've got a Hosta, I don't know what it is. I've got Japonica spider's web, one there, too, and this was my original one, which is going mad. I split it and then put it in that one over there. So my rhododendron used to be there, but by taking it away I think it looks much tidier now. In fact, that post needs replaced because it's wobbly, so I'll need to do that before winter. So that's the corner I cut out, which I mentioned before, and that's all what I call the north facing side. So I've just tidied it up by removing the rhododendron. So we move on to the middle. Now my Trachy Fortunei here flowered for the first time. This is probably I think this will be the 3rd year it's in the ground. Crocosmias are there, waiting to flower. I think I said before, I've got, just to give it a colour, it's all green otherwise. Got some cover in here as well, purple fantasy. Yeah, I gave it a haircut last week actually. They obviously have runners. Didn't do anything with that this year, just cut it back and let it do its own thing. And main thing is these are lilies. This one is over 6 foot tall, that one. That's called the African Queen. I've had it a couple of years now. But that's really tall. It's about 6 foot tall, that at the top there. I can't remember the colour. I think it's orange. And salvias are in the middle there. I had a few salvias, but I think the only one that survived was Amstis. The rest I don't think survived. I had a few because of different colours. This is supposed to be good for pollinators. Haven't seen many bees and stuff around. You can see a salvia there. That'll be purple. This trachea here. So it's got a couple of leaves poking through. That's a new one. It's quite big, that one. I've got fern. Don't know what the fern is. Put it there 3 years ago. I see a Cordline. Again, the African Queen Lily. Again, about 6 foot tall, that one. And well, that's a salvia. I'm not sure which one that is. And here you can see, obviously, the pink chinas. But here I had Sikkimensis Bengal tiger. Never survived. Don't know what happened. I treated it the same way as the Musa Basjoos. Never survived. So, and no pups, because I thought if they died they may get some no pups, but the pink chinas have taken over that area from last year. And if I stand back a bit, these are the bananas. Now, we did have a lot of wind, so they've been battered. Oh, that's about 15 foot, if not more, tall, that particular one. As you see, there's a new one poking through, a new roller coming through there. There's its pups. One pup didn't survive. I wasn't surprised because it was really small. So you've got a roller here and one of the pups. Some rollers are coming out over here, as you can see. I stand back. Crocosmias are there, but stand back, it'll give it a bit of colour. And in the middle here, or I've got to say in the middle, but here, this one here, this trachea here, I can see this one. There, pushing out, I don't know how many more leaves it's pushing out. That's the famous B&M 150 pound trachea. And I've had no issues with it at all. As you can see, it's pushing out new growth every year. And no issues with that at all. So that's the middle aisle. And at the back, just another trachea there. Where you see the new leaves poking through. Cordline over here is flowering. It flowered last year, but I cut the stem off. This one is flowering this year. I believe that it'll be a second. Oh, there's a bee there, look. Well, I say I haven't seen any bees, there's a bee there, look. So that is flowering, but I'll chop the flower head off because I don't want to be a double trunk. I believe that's what will happen. And again, I've got this lily, African Queen Lily. It's about 5 foot here. Just give it a bit of colour. This is my waggy that I've said in the past that has done really well here. I'll wait till the leaves everything goes brown and cut it off. At the back here there's a whole bunch of different lilies in the pot, again to give it some colour. I'll just move along. There's a small trachea down the bottom there, you probably can't see, there's a small trachea down here. But here is another Sikkimensis Bengal tiger. I tried to save the height, didn't work, but it's not dead. I don't think it gets much sun here, I think that's what the problem is. So I pull back, again got a roller coming out here, got a little roller there, another trachea here, see it's pushing out new growth. And Cosmos in the front there, give it some colour. I don't know what those ferns are, can't remember. There's another waggy there. Another trachea over here. That's the Salvia down there. Standard Japonicas are just here. Again, it got a bit battered because we had a lot of wind. But this is a, don't you see that leaf? That's a, that one there's a really large one. other rollers. If I can just walk around the other side. Let's have a look. Oh, I slipped then. Right, there's a roller coming out there, but it's been hindered by the other leaf. There's no more pups. I can't see any pups. Any more pups? Yucca there, Rostrata. That was one I sort of got 2 years ago. That was to help it along because it was a right mess. It was doing alright. Don't know what's happening now, but anyway, I'll leave it there. I can't have it on the lawn in the front because when my grandson comes, they're really spiky, so I keep it out of the way. Yes, there's no more pups coming on that. Here's another pink china. I had so many, I planted them all over the place. So I'll just walk out, be careful, and also I just slipped. Just walk over here, and here, I'll just move all this here. I don't know if you can see that. You can see that if I can just do it like that. That's another Sikkimensis Bengal tiger, which I wrapped up. I tried to keep the height, it didn't sort of work, but it's there. Again, I don't think I get the sun there to help it along. Right, I just seen, what have I just seen there? It's a Cordline at the back. Again, I've put some lilies there. Again, just give it some colour. So I'm just going to move a bit. So I've got more Persicaria's Purple Fantasy here. Gave it a haircut. As you can see, it's all running along there. And the other Persicaria Red Dragons over here. Gave that a haircut. All survived, just mulch over it. That's all I do, really. I'll put the old leaves up. What I do is put the old leaves of the old Musa Basjoos on top. That seems survived. And at the back here, I've got more taking over this corner here. I don't really see it. Let's take over that corner there. And again, these are the lilies. I put lilies at the back and here just to give it a bit of colour. We can see the burgundy or deep purple or red, whatever you want to call it, the red dragons over there. Persicaria Red Dragons over there. They get quite big leaves over there. And I can see, if I just walk over here, about the Salvia Various coming up, poking up. They'll be purple. They're from a couple of years ago, just there. So if I just turn around, that's obviously the view from the middle island. It's obviously a small pup coming through, but that's only one didn't survive. It was really small out of all the bananas. So the Musa Basjoos were okay. It's the Sikkimensis that seemed to have a problem with. So on the left, this side here, this is the south facing side. In that pot I got another Sikkimensis Bengal tiger, which was a 9 centimetre pot when I got it, but it's put in this big pot here just to see how that goes, because I can move that pot. It's got some new growth. And over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do like this one. 5. Struck guard. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are all Canna lilies. I don't know if you recall my previous videos where I had a virus. I believe I had a virus, so I had to get rid of everything. Got rid of all the dirt, disinfected all the pots several times, got new dirt, etc, etc, new plants. So they're all on that side here. Nothing's obviously not flowered just yet. Cleopatra there. Tropicana black, Struck guard. There's a Tropicana gold. And I've got another gold over there. And just see how they go this year. Again, just a bit of colour. This is south facing, so it gets all the sun and all the warmth. So more flowery plants. I've got down here some Alstroemerias. I think they're called Summer Breeze or Indian Summer. So I've got them to give it again bits of colour. I also had them last year. In fact, I had them 2 years. So there's some there from 2 years ago. Alstroemerias. They haven't obviously flowered yet. There, and right at the back, these are them here, Alstroemerias. They're in that pot. They haven't flowered as yet. I've had them for 2 years. And there's some more over here. Just there, they're not flowered just yet. And I've got to put some in here with the canary date palm. I'm not too sure what variety. I think it's Summer Breeze. I can't remember. Or Indian Summer. I know I've got some Indian Summers which are orange. I've got something else which are more, I think, red. But I put them there. Alstroemerias. And the ones from last year are all there. They sort of just covered them up and they survived. They're placed around a couple of places. Again, it's just to give some colour once it all flowers out. Once it all flowers, I'll show you. Otherwise, it's just all green. I was going to put some Alstroemerias in here, but I know they like a bit of sun, and I was going to plant some around here, but I think there's a lot going on around here already with Crocosmias and Salvias, and obviously the purple fancies will take over it anyway. So I'll put them in the front there, so it's free there. So yeah, so that's what's happened so far since I saw you last. Oh, I've got more pink chinas here. I said last year I took a lot of runners out, and I've spread them all over the place, so they're all come back. Yeah, so yes, so that's what's happened so far since I saw you, or spoke to you last, when I was unwrapping everything. And I think the effort of wrapping up and unwrapping and storing, because I used the, as you saw, the insulation. I've got to store that, not throw it away. So at the end of the day, all worthwhile when you get something 15-20 foot high over there. I said the wind got to it, but hey ho. And over this side, I said the Sikkimensis never really got going, although I survived it. I don't think it gets as much sun that side. There's no pups, no new pups, otherwise I would have tried planting some new pups more to the right here. The other trouble I get over here is that on the other side of this fence it's got loads of bindweed, and I spent time, as you can see, I don't think you can see it there. I spent time this morning pulling it out. I've been told that if you keep pulling it, it makes it weaker. Other than that, there's nothing else you can do. So I've been attached to things. It's not winding themselves up. So it's at the back of the fence. So they poke through, and you see, look, it's poking through at the top there as well. So I'll sort that out. I'll sort that out now while I'm thinking about it.